Hi everyone, how are you? So this is a screencast for your class on Thursday, and what I'd like to do first is go over the even questions that you had in your text, and I'll be very honest here and say that when I first did this screencast, I was in a place where I couldn't speak out loud, and I didn't know if I'd be able to start talking. So I actually wrote out everything that I wanted to say, which is kind of silly, but now that I'm looking at this, I guess you could just mute me and just read, couldn't you? Oh, don't you wish you could mute me in person? I guess I should probably stop that train of thought right there because if you could mute me, that means you could delete me or zoom out. I don't know, or rewind. In any case, so here's 24 worked out, okay? 24 part A. 24 part B is a great question. I kind of broke it down for you here. Well, I guess I don't really have to talk about it at all. This was kind of fun, showing that f sub y at p would not exist. 26 was a great question. That was a really good one. Really, really good one. Here, when you're looking at the picture, and you're looking at f sub x at 3, 2, and f sub x at 1, 2, they are both negative. Oh, I should say this, back at the beginning, maybe some of you are saying, wait, Miss Yam, when you said that f sub x at a is bigger than 0, how did you know that? Well, I wrote it out here. Let me say it. Let me just say it in person. If you go and look at that picture on 764, I'll turn there with you. Okay, just go ahead and look at that. And also, you're seeing, I hope right now, why it is that I need you to bring your book into class, because particularly at this early juncture when it's kind of we're laying the conceptual scaffolding, because these drawings are pretty key, right? And you've seen my artistic ability. There's no way I could draw this very well. But look at number 24, and one of the things I want you to visualize is kind of where f of a, or the point, right? F of a meaning f of a, this f of a is saying the point that's actually on the surface, quote unquote, above the point A that's on the XY plane. And what you need to do there is kind of visualize where on that paraboloid the point is. And it's kind of on the, I guess for lack of a better phrase, they're like on the downward sloping part of the paraboloid. Now, the other thing I noticed too, your textbook here, it makes the assumption that when you're graphing, when they show you the 3 axes, where they label X, Y, and Z, those are the positive X, positive Y, and positive Z axes. And you may see them often turned around. Like, look at the axes orientation in question number 25. That's kind of what we typically draw in class. And same for 26 actually too, right? With the Z going up, X, Y, positive X and Y coming out left and right correspondingly. 24 is just kind of rotated, correct? All right. So that's important. And I just noticed that your text does that. So you have to just, so your text here, it will label the X, Y, and Z at the positive ends of each axis. Now, if you look at point A, and if you visualize the tangent line, right, or just even go ahead and draw it, okay, draw the tangent line f sub x at point A, and you will see if you travel on that tangent line, if you travel in the direction of increasing z, all right, once again, if you travel on that tangent line in the direction of increasing z, x also increases, okay? So that's what I wrote out here. All right. By the same extension, f sub y at a, once again, if you draw the tangent line whose slope would be f sub y at a, you would see that if you travel on that tangent line, as z increases, y has to decrease. That's why f sub y at a is less than 0 or negative. All right. These were great questions. 26 was really fantastic. I will say too, I really do like this book. The publisher it's called Hughes Hallett. Hughes Hallett's Calc 1 and 2 text is also very good. It's a really solid conceptual focus of the way they kind of introduce students to these ideas. Anyway, so here, for 26, you look at the picture and when you have these partial derivatives, you're able to see that these two are negative, these two are positive. And of course we have 0 that has to come into the mix here as well. But these are negative, these are positive. And then you're able to see very clearly that between these two, this is the more negative. Between these two, this is the more positive, thereby giving you this ranking from least to greatest. Okay, and then we're at page 769, number 44 and 46. And I have to say, I so laughed when I saw that in the textbook, because I know that Dr. Bonner-Dollar uses this as a signature, which is really funny. In the wording, it does say that, it says that money in a bank account earns interest at a continuous rate R. Okay, so that rate, the implication is that R is whatever continuous rate that R is a constant. Okay, so R is treated as a constant. So in the equation, B equals P e to the RT. The two variables there are P and T. And then here I just found dB dt, dB dP. You can read this if you want to. Notice here that the units for dB by dP are dollars per dollar. Okay, really important. Like, note the careful use of plural versus singular. It's the number of dollars earned per dollar deposited. Okay. Okay, so here's what I'd like you to do in class on Thursday, although I think you're probably hearing this on Thursday. I want you to do two things. First, I'd like you to work on these 3 together in little groupings, okay, or grouplings. All right, go ahead and work on those 3. I think 22 is particularly fun. And then, this actually just occurred to me just now. What I'd said earlier is I do want to, in a reasonable and painless way, get you accustomed to the task of having to read a textbook, a math textbook, because the reality of it is that next year for you seniors, and this is generally not a 100% hard and fast rule, but there's a very good chance if you're in a math class, you're going to find yourself in a situation where you are really kind of figuring it out and learning it on your own. And you'll need to have the kind of wherewithal to know how to read a math textbook. So I think let's seize the opportunity right now. And of the textbooks to read, boys and girls, I could say this one is incredibly readable and very easy to read. So I'd like you to go ahead and read these pages right here, okay? And you'll see what I wrote here. Given what you're going to read, I don't think you're going to have to take any notes at all, because everything that's in this reading we've actually been talking about, albeit in different contexts, but we've been talking about these things for quite some time. So I think what you'll find is reading this should be a fairly comfortable exercise. Now, that said, if you are someone who is reading and saying, I think I really do want to formally take some of these things down, certainly go right ahead and do so. You can even, be efficient and compare amongst you what you think the most pertinent ideas are. And then once you've done that, please go ahead and do this problem set. And this problem set will play the role of classwork and also homework for Friday. All right. So I completely trust that you are completely on task, and I will very much look forward to seeing you next week, and also just sharing some really thought-provoking nuggets that I picked up from this really, really powerful conference. All right, everyone. I wish you good day and good night.